Hello everyone, it's me, Alex Axe, also known as Alex Wells, and I'm recording this while I'm waiting for someone to call me and tell me where the hell I'm going on this site. So it's Wednesday, November 29th, which for me feels like a Monday, and boy howdy is a Monday, because it's my first day back to work after a vacation, so I just feel really blah. But for you, it's hump day, so good. Get in the downhill, keep going, and hopefully you don't have to work this weekend, and I won't either. We'll see. I had a really good flight back from Boise last night. We actually landed like half an hour early, which I didn't even realize was a thing that ever happened anymore. I was in a super tiny little plane. It was just like two seats, you know, in economy. So maybe we just got in like a bigger plane's slipstream and just like flew in really fast. But the cool part of that was that I got to go to trivia, and I only missed the first half of it instead of just missing the whole thing. So I got to surprise my teammates, and I got to have some pizza and drink a really good snake bite, and the Badgers took second. Go Badgers! So that was really cool. And then, I was talking about, you know, the do-over button, and, you know, I want to get back on the wagon for eating healthy and exercising more, and today was supposed to be my do-over button day, and instead I realized that I don't get to go work out with my friend Isaac. Instead, I get to go to a homeowners association meeting. Isn't that exciting? And it's entirely because there's this person on the board who keeps sending out emails to the entire association, and we're talking like 5-page dissertations of personal aggrievement about how they're not getting their way and have some kind of giant hate boner for another person on the board and keeps trying to drag us into it. And I'm really, really done with this. Like, I graduated from high school in 1998, and I didn't like it in high school, and I'm really done with this drama now. So I'm actually going to haul my carcass to an HOA meeting, despite the fact that I've never been to one before, and I always just send in my proxy because I really don't care as long as they're not jacking around with our fees, so that I can tell this person to stop it and see if there's anything I can do to get them off the board, because I'm really done with it. Because, I mean, like, the only thing that is missing from these long rambling emails about how they're being unfairly treated and no one likes them and is listening to them and personal grudge and blah 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 is them asking to see our managers. So you can kind of get the tone that I'm getting at there. In happy news, the Infinity War trailer came out and it looks pretty cool. I mean, you know, let's set aside for a moment that I have concerns as a writer for trying to like stuff that many characters into a movie, blah, 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 blah. But it looks fun. And I mean, I've enjoyed even some of the messier Marvel movies. Like, I honestly liked Age of Ultron, even though I know a lot of people hated it. And it's totally fine that we disagree, and your reasons for not liking it are valid, and I am not arguing with you. I've covered that. But I'm optimistic, and it looks like one of the shots in the trailer that I was surprised that I caught, and my housemate, who really likes the Vision and has an AI problem, which he will tell you is not a problem, Karina, I caught where it's like Wanda and the Vision like having a moment, and you can tell it's him even though he looks like a human because he's got like the Infinity Stone in his forehead. So what I'm hoping that's kind of a signal of, other than like Wanda and the Vision are having a thing, though, you know, since he looks human, maybe it's like somebody's dream, who knows. But maybe it means that the characters who haven't gotten to have their own solo movies are the ones who are going to get to have the character moments while everyone else is like punching things. Because I have a concern about, you know, like the primary characters sucking all the air out of the room and especially when there's so many of them. So we'll see how that goes. And then just like, oh my god, at the end when it's like Black Panther and Captain America and Bucky all like running ahead of the crowd of Wakandan warriors, just like, oh my god, it looks so cool. So I'm gonna be optimistic about that. And oh god, and we get one shot of Loki, and of course he's doing the thing that we knew he was gonna do when we watched fucking Thor Ragnarok and got to the end of it. And, you know, I'm just hoping, like, Taika Waititi did such great things with him in Thor Ragnarok and kind of showed that he was moving on and getting into, like, a position where he was going to be more like sometimes his brother's advisor, and obviously he's, like, chaotic neutral, so sometimes he's going to do his own thing, and, you know, but resolving that and making it so he was no longer like, oh, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. So I'm hoping there's some kind of twist to it, or something more, because I really don't want to see all that work that Taika Waititi did on the character undone, and he's my favorite character, so of course that's like where my primary concern is, because I want, you know, I want to see cool things get done with Loki, and for him to not just sort of become like a two-bit predictable nyahaha villain again, which he kind of was a little bit in the Avengers, but that is for a different time, and it's in the past, because Taika Waititi fixed everything, and hopefully it won't get broken again. So I am excited. I probably don't seem as excited as maybe I should, just because right now, like, all of my enthusiasm generating capabilities are being taken up by The Last Jedi and Black Panther, and maybe after those movies have come out and I've gotten to watch them, I'll be able to feel super enthusiastic about other things. But for the time being, I'm just like, no, everything is The Last Jedi and Black Panther, and I have no room in my soul for anything else at this time. So the Infinity War trailer is like, oh, it's cool, it looks neat, but I'm not like as viscerally excited about it. Plus, you know, it's sometime in the future. Like, the only other thing I kind of want to mention is the really gross C.B. Cebulski thing. He's now like the editor-in-chief. Oh God, I'll pull the article and I'll link it in the notes, and you know, you can be angry at me that I'm saying things off my sleeve because my memory is terrible. But anyway, he pretended to be a Japanese writer named Akira Yoshida, and made up like a whole backstory about how he was a Japanese guy, and wrote some kind of icky exoticizing comics that were like okay because they were written by a Japanese guy, and that got revealed, and it's just incredibly gross. Because I mean, I've already seen, like, if you have an urge to defend this behavior, just stop and take a really good look at why you think this behavior should be defended, and then resolve to become a better person, because it should kind of go without saying that, like, I can understand, you know, no, actually, no, I can't understand, but, like, basically, when all of the advantage are already going to the white guys, and, like, you know, Asian American and Asian writers are having to write under pen names that sound white to get past gatekeepers and to try to even get jobs, for a white guy to pull this shit is really, really gross. And, you know, it feeds into that, like, you know, like, bullshit, like, persecution complex a lot of white guys have, where they're like, oh, well, I have to pretend to be like a woman to get ahead. And it's like, no, you know, those are kind of like the exceptions that almost prove the rule in a way. But so that behavior is just really gross and indefensible, and it is not in any way equivalent to a writer or artist of a minority writing, you know, working under a pen name that's going to sound more, you know, like, oh, sorry, I don't know where this reflection is coming from. Oh, there it is. It is not in any way equivalent to a writer or artist of a minority having to hide their ethnicity or race in order to try to get a fair shake. Like, these two things are not the same, and the power differential is not the same, and it's just not acceptable behavior in any way. And I'm also just getting really tired of the sort of like, oh, aha, we should have known from the beginning because Akira Yoshida is obviously some kind of bullshit name, and, you know, I'm gonna connect the dots to, like, Akira the anime and Yoshida the mangaka or whatever. And, like, that might have been what caused him to put that name together, but the thing is, Akira Yoshida is actually, like, a really actually believable Japanese name, because Akira is a pretty common first name, and Yoshida is a really common family name. So acting like, I saw this one tweet that really pissed me off that was like, oh, here's some other names he tested out, like Mononoke, Nintendo. And I'm like, no, these are not fucking equivalent, because you're basically, at this point, you're making fun of names that actual real people have. And I'm also just now going, oh God, is anyone, like any Japanese or Japanese American person who's got a Japanese name, are they now going to get some kind of like bullshit, scrutiny because like, oh, well, I can connect your first name to this anime and your family name to this other thing. Like, it's not a good road, and it's just the way people are going about it. Like, I understand now you can be like, oh, I can see how he made up this name to, like in this really fanboy way, but it's still like a perfectly believable actual name that actual people use. Like, there is literally a rugby player named Yoshida Akira. So I would just like people to stop with that, because it's getting really gross, and I'm not kind of explaining very well how gross it is, but it's mostly just like you're taking names that are like real people's names and mocking them in a really gross way, when there's plenty of other things this guy did that really deserve way more fucking mockery and are not actually gonna hurt people when you're making fun of them. So, with that, I'm gonna call this good because we're at 11 minutes. And, have a great Wednesday. You're obviously gonna have a much better Wednesday night than me. Oh, and if you have not pre-ordered my novel, Blood Binds the Pack, please do. I realized I should mention that occasionally. Make me and my publisher happy. And, if you found this interesting, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!